What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here, and in this video I want to go over the MK11 Ultimate in-depth pricing guide. Now the reason why I'm making this video is a couple of days ago I did a video talking about Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, everything that it includes, and if I felt personally it was worth the price. And from that video came a ton of questions in the comments about, hey, I have this version of MK11. What do I have to pay? Can I upgrade by doing this? Especially when it comes to the next gen consoles. Like, hey, I'm buying it on this console. How, what do I have to do to upgrade to the next gen console, etc. So I figured I would make a full guide on this. So it's quite lengthy. So I'm going to be going over all these questions and doing a brief explanation just to make sure that it's not too confusing, because it can get confusing. So to start off, this was a very common question. Do you get Kombat Pack 2 if you pre-ordered the premiere version of MK11 at launch? So at launch, there was a package, a bundle called the Premiere Package of Mortal Kombat 11 for $100. And people want to know, does that also include Kombat Pack 2 in that $100 purchase? No. That premiere version that you pre-ordered for launch day, that only includes Kombat Pack 1, Shao Kahn, and some skins. It includes no other DLC past this point. Next question is, this was another really common one. If you own the base MK11 game, can you buy Kombat Pack 2 without needing to buy the Aftermath expansion and the MK11 Ultimate upgrade? So in this situation, you bought MK11, you saw Aftermath, you said, you know what, those characters don't interest me. Now you see Kombat Pack 2, and you're like, wow, Melina, Rain, I'm really digging these characters. And you want to know, can I just buy Kombat Pack 2 without buying Aftermath? Yes. You can purchase Kombat Pack 2 for $14.99. And it does not require you to own anything but the base MK11 game. And if you pre-order the Kombat Pack 2, you still get the Time Warrior skins. You don't need to actually upgrade to the full Ultimate Edition. So, yes, you can buy Kombat Pack 2 completely separate from any of the upgrades. All you have to do is just own the game in general, and you can purchase Kombat Pack 2. If you only own the base MK11 game, can you still buy the MK11 Ultimate upgrade for just $14.99? This was a very common question because they saw in the breakdown of the pricing that Warner Brothers said was $14.99 for the Ultimate upgrade, and they also saw the $59.99 for the Ultimate full game. Some people say, hey, I own MK11, the base game, so because I do that, can I just pay $15 and get Ultimate as well? Which, no. Ultimate comes with, it also includes Aftermath. So the thing is, the $14.99 MK11 Ultimate upgrade is an upgrade to the expansion. And as such requires you to have either purchased the Aftermath expansion / Aftermath Collection full game. So there are two ways you can own Aftermath. Either by owning the base game and expanding to Aftermath, or you just bought the Aftermath expansion, the full game, which also came with base MK11. Those are the only two ways in which you can upgrade to Ultimate for just $14.99. There's no other way to do it. Think about it like the upgrade part for $14.99 for that price point. The $14.99 price point only considers Ultimate as the upgrade version of it. And the beginning is the base game, Aftermath is the middle, the Ultimate upgrade is the end. You own the beginning, base MK11, and even if you purchased the upgrade for $14.99 without the middle portion of that called Aftermath, there's nothing to link them together in the actual full game. So there's no way to buy Ultimate for the $14.99 pricing point without owning both the base game and the Aftermath expansion. Can I walk into a store and buy a physical copy of MK11 Ultimate on 11/17, which is the launch date, or order a physical copy of MK11 Ultimate and get it by 11/17. Okay, so in this situation here, you want to know, can I either just walk into like a GameStop the day of launch and purchase the game off the shelf? Or can I maybe order it somewhere from like Amazon and have it delivered to my house by the 17th, a physical copy of the game? On any Xbox platform, the answer is yes. PS4, PS4 Pro, and PS5 will be available digitally worldwide on the 11/17 launch date. However, the PS4, PS4 Pro, and PS5 will not get a physical version in the Americas until January, but will have a physical versions in other regions before then. So basically, in the breakdown of this on one WB site, this is the exact text. It says, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate on PS5, PS4, and PS4 Pro will be available digitally beginning November 17th. So worldwide digitally, no problems. However, the PS4 and PS4 Pro physical versions in the Americas will be available in January. And I'm guessing that the PS5 version, it's kind of confusing how they wrote this because they included the PS5 version in will be available digitally. So I'm assuming this means the PS4 and PS4 Pro versions will be available in the Americas physical copy after January. Everywhere else, it will be available on that release date. And the PS5 version still doesn't have a date on when you can get the physical version in the Americas. That's how I'm taking this out to mean. Okay, now you still can get a physical version in stores with the Collector's Edition. Collector's Edition, a physical version will be available for PS4, PS4 Pro, and PS5 on the 11/17 launch date if you pre-ordered the Collector's Edition or find it in stores. So basically, the Collector's Edition of the game, as you see here, this will be available in stores, as it says here, in stores November 17th, and obviously you can pre-order it online, etc. If you find this in the store or pre-order this online, this is the only way you can get a physical version of the game in all regions on November 17th. Otherwise, if you're in the Americas, you actually have to wait to get a physical version of your PlayStation copies of the game. You have to order it digitally. There's no other way. And for price point, I have no idea what this is going to be. I'll speculate on this at the end of the video. Okay, so the Nintendo Switch will be made available on the 11/17 launch date digitally only in the Americas. I mean, digital copy only. I guess the way this is written is kind of confusing. Let me say what this means. It will be available in digital form only for the Americas. Other regions will get a physical copy. But in the Americas, the only way you can own the game, period, is the digital versions. And this comes from, well, I'll go show that in a second. The PC and Stadia versions will be available on the launch date digitally only. So I guess only digitally. I guess I should have said it that way. Only digitally in the Americas and worldwide for the PC and Stadia. But that's what I mean. So basically what I mean here is there's no way you'll ever get a physical version of the game for PC and Stadia. They're not going to make one. And when it comes to the Switch, here we go. This is again from the WB site. The Nintendo Switch versions in the Americas will be available digitally only, while the PC and Stadia versions will be available digitally only worldwide. Okay, so if you have the Switch version, you can only get this digitally in the Americas. Anywhere else, you can buy it in the stores. Walk into the store, buy a physical version for the Switch. In the Americas, there's no way to do that ever. There'll never be a physical copy for sale in the Americas. You can't walk into a store and buy one. You have to get it digitally. PC and Stadia, there's no way to walk into a store and buy one at all. The only way this game is being made on those platforms is by digital download. So I hope I explained that better than I wrote it. Okay. Pricing guide for PC and current gen consoles. So this is basically right now you own the PC version of the game, or Xbox, PS4, etc. Well, obviously, if you don't own the game at all, you'll need to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game, right? Because you don't own the game at all. So, okay, I haven't purchased MK11 at all. I'm kind of curious, hey, what's the deal with this MK11 Ultimate game? They're adding a bunch of new stuff. Yeah, $59.99, that's what you're going to pay. If you own the base MK11 game, but you did not buy the Aftermath expansion. So, MK11 came out. You bought the game. Aftermath came out, you said, you know what, I don't really want to upgrade to Aftermath right now. Well, if all of a sudden you hear about, what's this Ultimate Edition? Oh yeah, I would love that. How do I get that? What do I got to pay? Okay, well, for that, since you own the base game already, all you need to do is now purchase the expansion for $39.99 and then upgrade the expansion for $14.99 for a total of $55. So all you have to do is own the base game, which you do, and then buy the expansion to it, and then upgrade that. Now it's cheaper to buy the Aftermath expansion and the MK11 Ultimate upgrade over buying the full MK11 Ultimate game for $59.99. So there are two ways you can go here. You own the base game, you can upgrade to Aftermath, and then expand on that upgrade with Ultimate. Or you can just say, you know what, I'll just go ahead and buy the full MK Ultimate game. The pricing is very similar. However, by expanding on the base game and buying the upgrade, you're only paying $55. By buying the full Ultimate game, which comes with the base MK11, which comes with Aftermath, and the Ultimate upgrade, that's $60. So you're saving $5, but the pricing is very, very similar. It's only a $5 difference. These two are basically the same. If you own the base game and the Aftermath expansion, I guess I might as well put them both in the same category. You own the full version of the MK Aftermath Collection game. So these are two one and the same. What I mean is, there's only two ways you can own Aftermath. You either own the base game and you bought the expansion version of Aftermath, or you didn't own the base game and you bought the base game by way of buying the full Aftermath Collection game, which includes the base game. Either way you got it, all you need to do is now upgrade that for $14.99 and you have Ultimate. Now, this is pretty much where the majority of the questions were. Pricing guide for current gen to next gen consoles without a disk drive. This was the big one. You see, when the XS and the PS5 were announced, there was no patch announced for MK11. There was no upgrade announced. Some people thought, you know what, I'll just buy the non-disc drive version of the next-gen consoles, which will save me some money. And they pre-ordered those consoles that are only able to play games by way of digital download. And a lot of people are asking me, well, what do I do? I own a physical copy of the game, but I ordered without a disc drive. I mean, had I known that they were actually going to expand on this game, this would be one of the games that I would have wanted to play with the backwards compatibility feature, but I didn't know they were upgrading from Aftermath, so what do I do? Okay. Again, if you don't own the game at all, you need to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game for $60. You don't own the game at all, so obviously you have to buy it if you want to play it. You own a physical copy of base MK11, but you did not buy the Aftermath expansion. Well, the only version of the game you have, you're that guy, you bought MK11, you said, this Aftermath expansion, I'm not interested in it. Now, Ultimate? What's that? But you already own the base game. However, your next-gen console doesn't know you own the base game because you own a physical copy of it, and your next-gen console you got without a disc drive. So it doesn't know you own the base version of the game. So you will need to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game for $59.99. However, don't worry about this, because even if you just owned the base game and had a disc drive, you would have still had to pay $55 because you would have had to buy the ultimate upgrade anyway, the expansion anyway, and then the ultimate upgrade for $55. So you're really only out $5 more than you would be if it did recognize your disc, right? If you did have a disc drive. So you're not really losing any more than $5 here. Okay. If you own a physical copy of base MK11, and then you purchase the Aftermath expansion digitally, this is where you really get hit hard. And this is why this is so important to really listen here, because if you are in this category, you really want to be careful with how you're going to pre-order Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Okay, so the good news is you don't need to rebuy your Aftermath expansion because you've already purchased it by digital download. And because it's on digital download, you can transfer it from your current gen console to your next gen console. So you don't have to rebuy it. The bad news is it doesn't matter because you only bought the expansion version of Aftermath, which works off of the full version of the game, which you own in your hand on a CD. You own the base version of Mortal Kombat 11 on a CD, and the expansion part is digital. Without the physical version of the game, there's no way to get that expansion to work. So while you'll have the expansion on your console, it will not work without the full version of the game, which you happen to be holding in your hand in a physical copy. So the bad news here is it's actually cheaper to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game. So basically rebuy everything you have, because while you own the full base game, your console can't recognize it. And while you bought Aftermath, your console won't play it because you can't put the game of the full version of the game in it, of the base game in. So it's cheaper to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game than it is to now rebuy the base game in digital form for $49.99 and then buy the Ultimate upgrade for $14.99. That's $65. It's cheaper to spend $60 than it is $65. Either way, you're pretty much going to have to rebuy everything you own because you only own the middle digitally and you own the beginning in your hand. The console won't recognize either of it because you can't make this work without this. So you're kind of like, in short, you'll still need to buy the full version of the MK Ultimate game on the next gen console for $59.99 as your most cost-effective way to get the game. Now, if you're someone who is looking to pre-order while on your current console, you can put your game in, play Aftermath right now, and then purchase the $14.99 upgrade to Ultimate and play all that on your current gen console. If you wish to do that on your next gen console that does not have a disc drive, don't even order the upgrade for $14.99 because now you're just going to spend an extra $15 that you can't use. Because then, yeah, you'll own the Aftermath upgrade digitally, and you will own the Ultimate upgrade digitally. None of that matters because you can transfer that to the next gen console, but the physical version of the game that you hold in your hand is required to make either of that work, which you can't put in your next gen console without a disc drive. So if this is you, do not pre-order the upgrade to what you already have on your current console. Because that $15, you'll never get to use it outside of your current gen console. You won't be able to play it at all on your next gen console. So if you're someone who definitely knows you want to play this on your next gen console, just forget the $14.99 upgrade and spend the $59.99 now, so you're not out of an extra $15 in the future. If you own a physical copy of the full MK11 Aftermath Collection game, so in your hand, the way you went about owning Mortal Kombat 11 is you waited until the Aftermath Collection, and then you actually bought the disc version of the game, right? So in your hand is the disc version of Aftermath, which includes the base MK11 game and Aftermath. you basically don't own the game as far as your next-gen console without a disc drive is concerned, because it doesn't know you own the full version of the game that you're holding right here in your hand, because you can't put the disc in the console. So as far as that console is concerned, you don't own the game at all. So unfortunately, you'll need to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game for $59.99. And the thing is, it's cheaper to buy the full MK11 Ultimate game than it is rebuying what you have in your hand, the full version of Aftermath, and then buying the Ultimate upgrade for $14.99, because it's going to cost you $75. There's both the Aftermath Collection full game and Ultimate already cost the same price. So there's no reason to buy Aftermath and then upgrade it if buying the full MK11 is the same price as just the Aftermath full game. So if this is you, unfortunately, yeah, you paid $60 for your full version of Aftermath. Unfortunately, because you bought it in disc version and you didn't order a version of the next gen consoles that has a disc drive, you just have to rebuy the game. So don't go ahead. If you are someone who you know for a fact you want to play MK11 Ultimate on your next gen console, don't spend the $14.99 as your way of pre-ordering it, because while yeah, you can upgrade off of your physical copy on your current gen console, when it goes next gen, the ability to transfer Ultimate upgrade is meaningless to you because you don't have the full version of the base MK11 game in any way, shape, or form to put in there. So just go ahead and spend the $59.99 and pay it once rather than having to pay more money down the road. If you own a digital version of base MK11, okay, so now you own the game digitally by digital download. So the game came out, you bought it digitally. You said, you know what? I don't want Aftermath. You know, I don't care about it. I only own the digital version of MK11. That's it. Okay, well that's easy. You can just transfer your digital version to the next console. All you have to do is buy the Aftermath expansion and then buy the MK11 Ultimate upgrade. That's going to be $55. It's cheaper to do it that way than to buy the full game. But again, it's only a $5 difference, right? So if for your current gen console, if you pre-order it, you can play it on your current gen console and then transfer all those digital downloads to your next gen console. You don't really have to rebuy anything. You just have to expand on the version of the game that you have now. These two are again the same. So digitally, if you own base MK11 and the Aftermath expansion, or you own the full Aftermath Collection game. So instead of going into the store to buy a physical version of the full Aftermath Collection game, you bought it digitally, or you upgraded online, PS Store. You upgraded. Doesn't really matter. However you own the Aftermath Collection game, however you own it, all you need to do is pay $14.99, provided that you own the game digitally. Because you're just going to copy or transfer your digital files of either the base MK11 game and the Aftermath expansion to your next-gen console, or you're just going to copy the digital version of the full Aftermath Collection game, which includes the MK11 base game. All you have to do is spend $15 to upgrade from that. You don't have to spend anything else. And you can play that on your current gen console and then transfer it to your next gen console. Okay, now if you're someone who did buy a next gen console with a disc drive, if you don't own the game at all, obviously, once again, you have to buy the game for $60. Own a physical copy of base MK11, but you did not buy the Aftermath expansion. Well, this is pretty easy. You put your physical version in the game, in the console, of the game in the console. All you need to do is buy the Aftermath expansion for $40 and then buy the MK11 Ultimate upgrade for $15, which is cheaper than it is by $5 and just buying the full MK upgrade, 11 Ultimate upgrade, period. There's no reason to buy the full game when you already own the base version, and you can just upgrade to Aftermath and the Ultimate upgrade. But it's only a $5 difference. So you're not really, like, wow, I saved a lot of money here. If you own a physical copy of base MK11 and purchase the Aftermath expansion digitally, or you own a physical copy of the full Aftermath collection game, again, however you own it, digitally or physically, whether you digitally own the Aftermath collection full game or digitally own the expansion and then have a physical copy of the full game, or you walked into GameStop and also bought the Aftermath collection full game. However you did this, however you own it, all you got to pay is $15 to upgrade. Own a digital version of base MK11. This is the exact same thing as the without disk drive stuff. If you own if you own digitally, all you got to do is expand, buy the Aftermath expansion for $40, and then buy the MK Ultimate upgrade for $14. You don't have to rebuy the game all over again for $60. Same thing, however you own Aftermath, doesn't really matter, digitally, whatever, again, doesn't matter. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just wanted to be very clear in every possible scenario, So again, however you own Aftermath and the full version of the game, digitally or physically, if you have a disk drive version of the next-gen console, however you own it, doesn't matter. You own it, all you got to do is pay $15. This is very important, and it's a question that actually, surprisingly, I got asked quite frequently. This is one of the most frequent questions. If I own the game for PS4, and I pre-ordered it for PS4, and then later on I want to, let's say you haven't pre-ordered a next-gen console, and then 4 or 5 months later you say, I'm ready to make the investment in a next-gen console. Can I transfer my Xbox One to my PS5? So can I say, okay, I own Ultimate, can I transfer that purchase to a different platform of the next-gen console? So PS4 to Xbox XS, Xbox XS to PS5, Xbox One to PS5. No, you cannot. The only way you can only transfer from platform to platform. So if you bought the game for PS4 and then you get an XS, you have to rebuy the game if you want to play it on the next-gen console. Likewise, if you bought the game for Xbox One and then you end up getting a PS5 and you want to know, hey, I already bought Ultimate, can I transfer that? No, you would need to then rebuy it for that platform. It is not cross-platform transferable or transferable, however you want to say the word. So that is your complete pricing guide. Also, I did say I would go into the pricing guide on the collector's edition. So the collector's edition, there's no price released yet. I don't think Warner Brothers has given a price point as of this video. If they do, I'll update this in the description. My guess is about $250. It might be a little less. When the original MK11 launched, there was a collector's edition with Scorpion. This was $300. However, this included the premier version of the game, the premier bundle of the game, along with the steel case and the Scorpion bust. Now, the version of the game was more expensive than $100. Ultimate, which includes all that, is only $60. So it's a $40 difference between what the game was then versus what it is now for all that content. So I could see maybe them knocking $50 off the price and this being $250. I would be surprised if it was $300, but don't quote me. I would say around $250. As low as $200, but I wouldn't bank on that. Maybe $199 or $249. That's where I see it. I would be surprised if it was $300, but I wouldn't be totally like, wow, holy crap, I'm shocked. So anyway, I hope I answered all your questions. If there was a question I did not answer in this video, or you are confused about something, let me know in the comments section and I will do my best to get with you as quickly as possible and answer that question. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for more content.